Welcome to the CEO Camper Podcast, where we talk about being a badass CEO in business and life, but also getting out into nature more and making it really easy. I'm your host, Jessica Ryder, a 14-year veteran of camping and have 16 years of business driving teams and companies to purposeful growth under my belt. I am here to help you get out into nature, reset yourself so you can continue to be that badass CEO. So let's dive in to the CEO Camper Podcast. Hey gang, what is up? I am trying something new today. So I am recording the podcast. I'm also recording it for YouTube. I'm going to move the camera a little bit. Guys, this is just how it rolls. Play around, you know. Anyway, what I want to talk about today, I had a friend reach out. So on the day that, Facebook, Instagram, like all that stuff crashed. Let me preface this. If you're watching this on YouTube, you're going to see a lot of brown behind me. This is my camper. I record in here. This is what I do. Our camper is a 2017. So I think 2018 or 2019 is when they came out with like all the white cabinets and everything. So like my camper's not cool. I don't have all the farmhouse style. I have all the brown still. But anyway, shout out to, hey, check this out on YouTube. But what I want to talk about today. So on the day that Facebook, Instagram had their like 6-hour outage or whatever, I went ahead and like reached out via text message to a bunch of, just friends and business colleagues and things like that. So, and one of the women reached back out, text back, and we went back and forth a couple of times. And she mentioned like, they're thinking about getting a camper. And I was like, well, whenever you're ready, I'm happy to help kind of just like walk you through. I've done, good grief, guys. I've looked at so many layouts. Like I can tell you what the layout is typically going down the road. Like I don't even have to see the inside. I can tell you what the layout is from the outside, just based on like where the windows are and everything else. So anyway, I said, I'm happy to help. And she said, we just want to be prepared. And I laughed and I said, everybody wants to be prepared. Like we have, and she even mentioned like they're preparing food wise. And I said, that's awesome. Like we are too. Just, we don't know economic climate. Like we don't know what's going to happen. I mean, shoot, you probably don't even know what's going to happen in your business in the next 30 days. Some people are like, are we shutting down? Like people don't know. Right. So they were trying to be prepared as possible. And, in our house, we are too. So there were a couple of things that I told her to get to really honestly, to be prepared. Like if you think about it, everything goes down, right? Let's say electric goes out, water goes out, cell phone, like all that kind of stuff goes out. And I'm not trying to like be the Debbie Downer and I know some people are probably like, that will never happen. And I'm like, never say never, right? Like at this point, we all lived through 2020 and now we're living through 2021. Never say never. So a couple of things that I wanted to share with you that I shared with her to get ready. If you've never heard of a Dutch oven or a cast iron skillet, go look it up. You just need to go to Lodge, Lodge. That is one of the best brands out there. And look at their cast iron skillets. Look at their Dutch ovens. Look at those things. That is the first thing I told her to get. And she's like, I wouldn't have thought of that. And I'm like, yes, go get yourself some Dutch ovens because you can literally cook just about anything in a Dutch oven. I mean, the last 2 camping trips that we've had, I've made homemade apple pie in a Dutch oven. We do chili. We do stew. You can do cornbread. Like we have 2 Dutch ovens, right? Because they come in different sizes. You can stack them on top of each other. The way that these work is with charcoal. So you obviously light charcoal, get it hot, and then you control the temperature by how many briquettes you put on top of this cast iron Dutch oven, and it cooks your food. So Dutch ovens, like if everything went out at our house, if everything went out and I didn't have electricity, I couldn't use my electric skillet, I couldn't use my stove, I couldn't use anything, I would go to these Dutch ovens, and that's how I would do things, right? We also have a very large cast iron skillet collection, I guess if you want to say it. I use cast iron every day when I cook on the stove. So just knowing how to do that and knowing how to like start a fire and use those cast iron pans and Dutch ovens and things is key, I think. Simply because like we just don't know. I mean, I get it. It's kind of going back to the pioneer days, but what are you going to do? Like, if you can't heat anything up, what are you going to do? Like, so that was the first thing, was get some cast iron skillets. Now, there's clearly things that need to go with that. Like, you need to have charcoal. You need to have, in our case, we like lighter fluid, you need to have like the fire starters. As weird as those things are, like you just don't think of those things. The other thing I would load up on is aluminum foil, because you can literally cook anything over, I should preface that, not anything, but you can cook most things over a fire with aluminum foil. So if just like think about, you make a fire with, wood or whatever, and then you have a grate or what have you, and then you can put your steaks on there. Well, then like, what do you do with your potatoes or your vegetables or whatever? Like if you're truly eating that kind of thing, like you can put vegetables in a foil packet and heat it up over the fire. That is extremely simple. We do that a ton when we're camping because, we'll just have steak and then I'll cut up carrots and potatoes and whatever, green beans, whatever you have, throw it in a foil packet, put it on the fire and heat it up. So again, foil, again, it doesn't seem like it's not obvious, but like, it's like, oh, well, duh. Like if I just had some aluminum foil, I can make a fire and put whatever I want in it, a couple of other things that, obviously we're preparing for: water, candles. Our camper, unfortunately, does not have solar. So we really couldn't use any electric if we had, if that kind of went out. But I'm also not immune to like rising with the sun and going to bed when it's dark. Like, think about, really honestly, like if the grid goes down, like that's how we're going to have to go back to doing things. Like we're going to have to rise with the sun and go to bed when it's dark. I mean, but there are other things that, I'm not going to say we could easily get solar. I don't know that we would be able to, but just like the basics would be covered. We would be able to cook food. I know, as weird as this one sounds, like a can opener or several can openers. It's one thing to get all these canned goods, which is great, but like if you don't have a way to open it, what are you going to do? I mean, there was a camping trip, guys, one time that we didn't have a can opener in the camper. And I'm like, oh my God, here I am getting ready to make this. I even forget what I was making, but like I had to open like 4 cans and I didn't have a can opener. And we had like a screwdriver, and Rusty has this bucket of tools that he carries. So it's like there were screwdrivers and hammers and all kinds of stuff in there. And we got the cans open, but just those basic things, like maybe have 2 or 3 can openers, maybe have like just a small thing of tools that just in case you need to do something. You have a couple of wrenches, you have a couple of screwdrivers, you have a couple of hammers, just in a bucket. Go get a 5-gallon bucket from Home Depot or Lowe's, or, maybe just even your local hardware store. Throw a bunch of things in it and have that bucket ready to go. Really just go back to what people did when they lived off the land and then semi-prepare yourself for that. Again, I'm not trying to be like a doomsday prepper here. We're not doomsday preppers, but I do think that our experiences camping and what we've done has set us up for, I don't want to say greater success. I think if all that shit happens, none of us are going to be seeing success. But what I'm saying is we're a little bit farther along on that prepared path because we have done these. We have camped. We've done these things. We've cooked over fires. We've used Dutch ovens. We use cast iron skillets. We know how to make a fire. We know how to collect wood. We can determine if wood is still green, if it's gonna burn. Like we have lanterns. That's something else that you can get. Lanterns. Stock up on batteries. Make sure that you have replacement bulbs for your lanterns. You know fishing poles, like that's, again, seems so simple, but like if you have a couple fishing poles, you can go catch some fish. you know have a fillet knife. Those don't cost a whole lot. I mean, think about like this holiday season. I know people are gonna like wanting to get the toys and all that crap, that you're gonna be like, maybe your family could use a couple of the basics, like go to Bass Pro and get a fillet knife. Again, it seems ridiculous, but like, what if you have to fish? What if you have to, cut up that fish? Like I told my husband Rusty the other day, like we were talking, and I'm like, if I had to, like, I understand the concept of hunting. He's been a hunter his entire life. I've tried it. I don't have the patience. Imagine that. To like sit there all day. I enjoy nature. I enjoy being in the woods, but like to sit there all day. I also think when it came down to it, in today's current climate, like when it's just a sport, I don't know that, like, I'm not starving enough to like kill an animal, right? But if I was starving, I think we all would do things differently, right? I would probably kill a squirrel and eat it. Like I would probably kill a deer and eat it. Do I know how to gut it? I've seen it done. I know, I understand the basic concepts of it. Same with skinning it, all that. Again, I'm not going to be as good as my husband, but like those are the concepts that like you could find videos of that on YouTube just to understand the process. Not saying you're going to do it, not saying you're going to have to do it. But what does it hurt just being knowledgeable? So again, those are like just some basic things. Look into some cast iron cookware. It will hold its value. I promise you that. People sell cast iron stuff on Facebook Marketplace for hundreds of dollars. It holds its value. I believe this time of year, I think this is October that I'm recording this, and I believe around this time of year, the company Lodge, which is one of the better brands, they do like a big sale. So you may even find some stuff on sale from them. Don't get like the word of caution. Is that right? Don't get like the colorful ones. Like I have those that I use inside. What I'm literally talking about is they are black or dark gray, and they have like a lip on the top, not the rounded top. Like they need to have a flat top with like the edge around it, so you can put charcoal briquettes on top and they stay on there. Like that's how you cook these things. You put charcoal briquettes on top, you put charcoal briquettes on the bottom. It warms up the entire Dutch oven, and then it warms up your food. So get yourself some Dutch ovens, get yourself some charcoal, get yourself some lighters, the fire starters, candles, batteries, lanterns if you don't have them. Get yourself some fishing poles. Get yourself a couple fillet knives. Get yourself aluminum foil. Like as much, my husband Rusty asked if we could buy a pallet of aluminum foil from Costco, and I'm like, I don't know if they'll let you do that, but I guess I could ask. So those are the kind of things that you need to buy, prepare for. I mean, I would go as far as like maybe some mason jars, because you can keep those things. Make sure you have some coolers. I would start saving some of your plastic containers. Rusty has done this for years, and it drives me nuts, but I understand why he does it. So he'll save any plastic container that we get. So like think, okay, you buy a big canister of Folgers coffee, right? Or you buy like the big 5-pound Prairie Farms ice cream or stuff like that. Like the plastic containers like that are a little bit more durable. He fills those with water and puts them in our deep freeze. And then when we go camping, We don't go buy bags of ice. We have our own ice. We made it. So those are other things that you guys can be thinking about. Like, how can I just refill plastic containers with water and then I have ice? How can I start using your ice maker and dumping it every other day or so in a trash bag and keeping it in a deep freeze? We have a couple deep freezes here at our house. We do that if we're going to camp a lot in the summer. I'll start bagging ice. I'll bag my own ice. And then I don't have to buy it. So those are some easy, simple things that you can start doing just to be prepared. I mean, like, you will always use ice. It's not going to go bad. Keep it in a freezer. So yeah. Again, I feel like this was a ramble, but like, again, things that you guys can do. Dutch ovens, lighters, aluminum foil, batteries, lanterns, replacement bulbs, fishing poles, fillet knife. Start bagging your own ice. Keep some plastic containers with water in it. Stock up on water. Stock up on charcoal. Like all those kind of things. So if you have specific questions about how we use our camping stuff to kind of prepare for what could happen here, just reach out to me. You can use like my primary Instagram. My personal is at Jessica_L_writer. And check it out. I have no idea what just happened with the YouTube video. So yeah, just totally moved. So anyway, guys, I'm going to get off here. Enjoy your day. Be prepared. And we'll talk soon. Thank you for listening today. As you can tell, I am pretty passionate about business, camping, and balancing them both in my daily life. If you want to connect with me more, I included all the links in the show notes, including my camping brand, Pull Through Sites, my personal pages, and also a really quick questionnaire to figure out how I can help customize your camping experience. I appreciate you, and I hope you got something out of the show today. If you did, please share this with someone else who needs to hear it, and leave a review. If you leave a review, I'll send you a free copy of my book, How Camping Saved My Life: The Journey from Hospital Bed to Nature. Thanks again. Talk soon.